Hello my wonderful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please, if this is your first time coming across my YouTube video, please do not leave without subscribing to my YouTube channel, and as you do so, may God bless you. So guys, on today's episode I'm going to be illustrating to us the easiest method, the easiest way to cut and sew a trouser. Anyways, I'm converting this to a knicker, but I'm still going to use it to illustrate to us how to use it to sew a trouser. As you can see here is my starting point, which is my waistline. Then I left about 1.5 inches seam allowance at the side here. You can see that. So I've gone ahead to mark out some lines. As you can see, here is my waistline, here is my crotch depth, and this CD allowance you are seeing here is my crotch depth allowance. Then here is the length I'm working with, the knicker length, and here is 1 inch seam allowance which I added. So on how to get our crotch depth is your hip divided by 4. My hip divided by 4, the answer it gave to me, which I imputed here, plus 1 inch seam allowance. So what next we are going to do here is the hip measurement divided by 4. I mark it on my hip line, which is my crotch depth and my crotch depth allowance, and also take it to my waistline. So I'll do that and come back for us to see. So I've gone ahead to do that. I started my measurement from this 1.5 inches line here. As you can all see, I started my measurements from this line, not here. I started my measurements from this line. So guys, what next we are going to determine here is our crotch extension. To get the front crotch extension is your hip divided by 20. Let's assume your hip measurement is like my hip measurement is 36. 36 divided by 20 will give us 1.8, but I'm going to approximate it to 2 inches. So right here at my crotch extension, I'm going to, at my crotch depth allowance, I'm going to mark 2 inches for the crotch extension. Starting from this line here, I'm going to mark 2 inches. So I've marked out the 2 inches line here. So from my crotch depth, not from the crotch allowance, from my crotch depth, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. I'll go up by 1 inch. Then from the crotch allowance, I'm going to come out this way 1 inch to connect it to form the curve at the crotch extension. So I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect the points. Okay, so here is it. This knicker is going to stop at my nail. So you take your round nail measurement and divide it by 2. You mark it at the allowance line also. Okay. you connect it this way. Then at the allowance line, you come out by 1 inch. Then you connect it this way, so that the reason why we are coming out by this 1 inch is that by the time we are going to fold it, it's not going to be shortened. That is the essence of coming out by 1 inch. From your crotch line, that is your crotch depth line, you come down by 3 inches to get your lapse line. So we are going to make some marks there and connect it with our ruler. Okay, so right here now you're going to, let me label this. This is our lap line or our tie line. So right here now we're going to impute our lap measurement, which is divided by 2. You divide your lap measurement by 2. So you mark it out here. As you can see, where I'm taking my measurement from the 1.5 inch line I gave here. There's I'm starting my measurements from. So right here, you connect it this way. We've already gotten the new measurements, because the length of our trouser is stopping at my new line. So I'm not going to make it into a straight pant, but I'm still going to illustrate to us how to convert it into a straight pant for those of us that would like to make it into a straight pant. For me, is a short knicker I'm making. So right here, I'm going to connect this to meet to the length I want it to be. Okay, yeah. So right now, what next we're going to do is that, let's assume we are making a straight pants here. Here will be the length of our trouser. So what we did here, you mark your new measurement, then you extend the 1.5 line inches down. Let's assume we are making this into a straight pant. You connect this 1.5 line inches down. So you measure your ankle, then anything it gives to you, which is your ankle measurement, you put it down here. Then you use a straight ruler to connect all this way. Use a straight ruler to connect it. So as you can see, but we are making a short. So I'm through with the drafting. As you can see, this 1.5 inch allowance I gave here, by the time I would cut out the back pattern, we are going to use 1 inch allowance to join it. I'm going to show us how to draft the back also. We are going to use 1 inch allowance to join it here, to join this line together, then use 1 inch to join the remaining part. I'm going to show us on how to do that. So right now, I'm going to draft the back pattern here also. So what I'm going to do here is that this crotch extension, I'm going to extend it more. I'm going to extend this crotch extension. I'm going to extend it more. So I've extended the line for the crotch extension. So now to get the back crotch extension, you know, we divided our hip measurement for the front by 20. So to get the back, we are going to divide it by 10. That is your hip measurement. 36 divided by 10. It's going to give us, my hip is 36 divided by 10. It's going to give me 3.6. 3.6. That is what it's going to give me. So I'll start measuring the 3.6 from this line. From this line, I'll measure my 3.6 from this line. Don't start the measurement from this line, start it from this line. So as you can see, I've done that. 3.6. So right here at the trouser length, I'm going to mark ½ inch at this trouser length, the knicker length I mean to say. So I'm going to connect it from this back crotch extension to this to the trouser length, which I came out by 0.5 inch. So I'm going to connect the line. So I'm still going to match the line to meet this also. Okay, so that is all for the drafting. Like I said, I'm going to the waistband is elastic. I'm adding elastic at the waistband. So that is all for the drafting of this short knicker. So what we are going to do next is to cut it out. Alright, so I've gone ahead to cut it out. As you can see, here is this extension here is for the back. I'll cut it on my material. Then after cutting out the back first on my material, so I'm going to trim it off this way to cut out the front. So no need of us adding any 0.5 inch allowance. The allowance is all here, which is 1.5 inches. So we are going to use, out of 1.5 inches, we are going to use ½ inch to join all this place, all the side. As you can see, then the remaining 1 inch is to join the side. So right now, let me go ahead and cut it on our fabric. So in this down part, you can see the reason why I extended my hand 1 inch to draft out the curving of this part. So by the time we are going to fold this on our material, as you can see, there is nothing shorting here by the side. There is nothing shorting. It is equal. So that's the reason why we came out here by 1 inch. So here I've cut out the back. Here is for the back pattern, as you can see. Here's the material I'm working with. It's a net material. So it has top also, but I didn't include the tutorials here. Here is the top. Here is the top I'm going to use to match this short knicker. Here is the back. Here is the back. So I've gone ahead to trace out this part for the front. So I'm going to cut some my fabric for us to see. So guys, as you can see, I've drafted out the front pattern for the trouser, for the knicker, I mean to say. So what next I'm going to do, the 1.5 inches I left by the side, as I said earlier. This is a 1.5 inches, so I'm going to use ½ inch to join these two parts together. As you can see, front to front, join it together. So I'm going to do the same thing at the back also. This for the back. I'm still going to use ½ inch to join all here together, as you can see. So by the time I will join the front and the back crotch together, I'm going to join it with ½ inch also. I'm going to join it with ½ inch. Then remaining the 1 inch, I'm going to use the 1 inch to hold down this side. So I'll do that and come back for us to see the view. So right here, I want to join the shorts together. Here is the front and here is the back. So this paper you are seeing which attached on the body is the fabric I'm working with. It's kind of confusing. It's very hard to figure out the front and the back, so I try in doing that. Then I use a paper to know the front and back. So right here, I've pinned it down on my sewing machine. I'm going to sew right this crotch line by ½ inch. So I'm through with the stitching of the sides. As you can see here, I've done the stitches with ½ inch. Here is for the back and here is for the front. So what next I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring the front and back together, lay them against each other. Here is the front. So here is the back. I'll lay the front against the back. I'll lay the front against the back this way. Then I'll stitch here down with 1 inch. Same thing to this side. But before I'll do that, I'll first of all attach the waistband. So where I can fix in my elastic, I'll first of all go and attach the waistband. So after attaching the waistband to the front and back, I'll then close here up with 1 inch. I'll close this side up with 1 inch. Then after closing it up, I'll come to the crotch area, which is this place. Before I will stitch down this crotch area, you know we left 1 inch seam allowance for folding the down. So I'll fold in the down with the 1 inch seam allowance we left here. Then after that, I'll then use ½ inch to join the crotch together. I'll then use ½ inch to join the crotch together. So guys, let me go and do that and come back and show us the final look. So guys, I've gone ahead to join the front and back together, and I've joined here with 1 inch the sides. So as you can see, this is the waistline. I then joined the 1 inch up to the waistline because I came down by 2 inches, so that I'll be able to attach my elastic band to the waist. Then after that, I'm going to stitch them all together. So here is the crotch. I've already joined the crotch with 1/2 inch, as you can see. Here is our short. So what next I'm going to do is to fix in my band, elastic band, and join everything together. So after that will be the end of this tutorial. Here is our short. I'm through with the stitching of the short. Here is the front and here is the back. Here is the back, as you all can see. Then here is the top I will use to wear it. I did not include the tutorials. I didn't include the tutorial of this top. So here is it. So guys, I'll be wearing it on my body so we can see the fitting of this two piece I made.